Hello everybody, welcome to today's video where I get diamond armor. I effectively get diamonds, get another setup, find a fortress, get a chicken farm setup because I'm gonna need a lot more arrows and it's a lot easier to grind than setting up that entire cow farm. There are cows in it. And so this is mostly just resource gathering to get stuff for those 4 wood planks. Each one is going to lead all the way to a, spherical shape, which will be most likely that asteroid thing I was talking about earlier. But currently, what I'm doing is I am mining out all the dirt. So small things will be skipped. Bigger things, like collecting of items, will be put into the video. The first episode was a debriefer. This episode will be an actual episode. I am so sorry for the first episode after rewatch, cause I posted it and then after rewatching after I posted it, it looked absolutely frightening. So, as the sun falls, I would like to tell you guys, this video is now out. Bye. So what I ended up doing here was I started going into this cave that I've already been in once before. Just never thought it actually had a full cave system into it. This is where I started to realize, oh wait, there's actually more than what I saw the first time when I came down. And so I go through here, and this is something I just do every time I go into a cave. I will place a lot of lighting before I kill the mobs so it doesn't give chance for more mobs to spawn, or a mob that I don't want to be dealing with to spawn in the area. Then normally I will kill the mob and I normally do this within like zones. I place those ones there because I don't want any mobs really spawning in these areas so they can just like attack me when I'm coming back down later on. So then I start to adventure through this hole, through this area of the cave. Doing my regular strategy, I normally just ignore Endermen, if possible. I try to conserve as much as possible. And around here I go to shoot the skeleton, but then I realize, oh, it's near an Enderman. If an Enderman teleports down into eyesight, I'm going to be attacked by an Enderman, and that's more issue than I need. So I let the skeleton move up, pathfind its way, and then I get within a safer zone of hitting it. So after I finished up in the caves, I went to go mine some dirt to fill up that hole in the center of where the meteor's gonna be, or the dome. And so, when midway through trying to find out why some things were being weird, why I was struggling to get some other things set up, around the middle of it, decided let's start a sugarcane farm so I could get me some books to enchant. And I also realized, wow, I got all this, but I haven't gotten a nether portal set up. So the next thing I ended up doing was setting up a nether portal. And so for what I'm just planning on here is how I'm going to actually build said thing. Because my brain currently, when I first built the one I have on a creative world of it, I was looking at it and to me it looked boring. So a lot of the time when I was mining this, I paused to think about how I'm gonna actually finish this up. So for this part, I was just like filling in the main part, and I would like to inform, if you did make it this far, I am very grateful and would like to say thank you, because to me, when making this video, it felt like it was a bit of a disaster, to say the least. I taken quite some time to get this video out, because my schedule would allow me 5 to 10 minutes of just looking at it, getting some things fixed, and I do want to try and get more videos out. I want to at least try and get 3 videos out a week, maybe more if possible. So during a lot of the recording process, I wasn't talking, and that's when I realized I should start just like talking about what's on my mind a bit more often, so I can actually have viewable, constant content that is just there to be listened to. And I probably will be thinking or trying to get a better idea on what to talk about. Currently, with the situations that have been happening in the US, I seen stuff like, what was it? It was like some talk person. It was something to do government-wise, where someone got shot. That was some American got shot. That was somewhere within the governmental area or station. So, I think it was a public speaker. A public speaker got shot and killed, and that was such a big thing. And if I'm not mistaken, didn't they found the guy? Unless I'm thinking of a different case where there was an actual shooting at a school, and so the thing with the shooting at the school is 2 people died. So I feel like the shooting at the school was more targeted. Or it could have been the cops were very good at their job. I would not be surprised if the cops were doing their job and they did it extremely well. Because their job is to keep the public safe. That is the main job of the police force. It's to keep people safe, make sure people are abiding the laws that have been set in place. So when it came to this happening, and I'm like, wait, only like a few kids actually died or got shot? I genuinely got confused. Because and this is just me trying to think in the proper mindset. They don't even have a proper mindset, but in the mindset of a shooter. If you aren't targeting anybody in particularly, and you're actually just going to make the school look worse, I would assume you're going for stack as many kills as you can. Go and commit the worst atrocities this world has. But instead, I feel like this was more, they could have been bullied by these people, they could have felt scared, so they lashed out in a way they shouldn't have, that could have probably been more prevented. And for the factor that if they did try and get help, and this is the case where they were scared because they were being bullied or not, or allegedly being bullied, I still have no clue what their defense for this person's case is, but I genuinely would assume the only reason, or only 2 reasons he got as little amount of kills as he did, or as minute of shots that were actually put out of his gun, was either the police were just great, they were doing their job, they knew they had it down that day, or they were specifically targeting certain people. And either one is extremely bad. Because on one, or the police one was great. That was a good one. The fact that those police were on it, I absolutely love that. And that does bring up another situation that I have seen at one point, where people were like, when there was a police officer and a teacher that were a couple, and they were making out within the school and got in trouble for it. Duh. There is a reason they are not allowed to be doing that stuff in school, the school districts. They can do it outside of school at any time. They did it inside the school. If a shooting would have gone down around the time those people, and these are two different situations. This wasn't the same school, this wasn't anything, but think about it. Because everyone was trying to go against the school saying, oh, this is just two people that love each other being with each other. No. If something would have happened and that officer wasn't there to try and get that situation down as soon as possible, that situation, depending on what it would have been or what it could have been, could have put people's lives at risk. Yes, I know you can love people. I know you should at least be allowed to show affection at work. Making out in the middle of a school day is just not acceptable. Yes, if it's just a quick kiss, saying I love you, some simple stuff. I love simple stuff. If they can just do that, I absolutely understand it. But the fact that they were doing it in the middle of a school day, and it ranged, I think, to 15 minutes, which is, confusing. And this is just me trying to remember out the top of my head. I will probably pause right now, do a quick research on that, if I can find it. But I am pretty sure they took long enough that if someone knew that that cop was going to be making out with his wife at that time, and they wanted to take that advantage, because yes, there could have been multiple police officers, but by my knowledge, each police officer covers a district area in that school. Yes, there will be areas where they meet up together, but that's around normally the center of the school. So if this police officer was the only one in his, direct area, and someone decided to start shooting or causing any format of harm that can't be reversed or can't be healed, that cop could have lost his job. And it's not like these people don't see each other at home. It's just generally a thing that could have just been unsafe for any actual children around them. I know everyone has these defenses, everyone has these stances on it, and this is where my stance is. I'm not saying my stance is the best, it's not up there, it's not anything crazy of a stance. It's just how I see it from a person that goes to classes, that actually still goes to study and learn. It's just an insane thing to think about. But off of those topics, apparently two famous people are getting married. And I think it's like a music artist and someone else. And I don't remember who they are, what it is. I just know people in my law class who were very big about it. And I wish I had better idea on this, but I don't keep too much up with a lot of famous people. It's just generally something that I choose not to do as often due to how bad a lot of recent dramas or how bad dramas do get when it comes to talking about famous people. Because we have had so many dramas where famous people were convicted of bad situations with children, where they are found in abusive situations with their lovers. That's why I don't try and cover the biggest, most famous people online. And I will say one of the ones that do slightly annoy me is, and I used to love watching him. He was one of my favorite YouTubers to watch, was Mr. Beast. But with all these things that are just like popping out about him, all these, it's just like I see more, and I know he's just a guy that tried to do a lot for good, but I think people are starting to get a lot more power in their mind when they talk with him, or when he tries to do something. It's just, I don't think he's trying to disappear from any subjects, or trying to just like take time through his life. Because since he's been on the channel, it's always been he needs to do something big. He needs to be big, or he needs to do big stuff, which really does. And so it made a lot of YouTubers that make content feel like they gotta do that now. And it's just like the most weird way of looking at videos. Because every time I go into a video, yeah, sure, Mr. Beast isn't the reason I make them. No, not even close. He's not even my inspiration. My inspirations are closer to the more original Minecraft YouTubers. One of my top people that were one of my biggest inspirations for just making Minecraft videos was Stampy. Or not even just Stampy, it was Stampy, Dan TDM, and a few other roleplay streamers I watched. I think one was Green, cause I think I remember him doing at one point a video that was roleplay. And it was just fun, cause I think he was doing it with Scar and maybe Mumbo. That was a while ago. Now I'm just making videos because I'm like, I need something to take up this time in my day that I don't have anything to do with, and I don't want to waste. So I do this to find interest. I do it to try and have fun. And what I've been noticing about myself is I've tried to avoid it, because I treat it like my job, something I just have to do. I'm not seeing the fun in it, but I'm trying to get into refinding what fun I've had. So I'm spreading out the time it takes to make these videos. I want to at least get more than one video out a month. I'm not that big, I shouldn't be putting so much quality, and I know I want to be putting quality into my videos. I want to put the biggest amount of quality, and I really want to try and get this going to the maximum amount I can. And to do that, I would say I need to get more out more often. And if I can get more out more often, then I would say that sort of secures the fact that once I hit a decent number that's more recognizable. Because currently what I'm doing is I'm going through like 5-6 videos, and I am thinking on how I could have improved. I want good quality, but it can't come at the cost of quantity. So what I think I'm going to be doing is I'm going to get out a few videos that are unedited, and it is just me searching up topics to talk about, and I would say generally way of me doing this would be having systematic areas on how to do it. So it would be like, okay, 1 week I'll go over this, 2 weeks I'll go over this, third week I'll go over this, and I will definitely say the any stance I have is my opinion, and it is not always going to be the best set of mind or the best opinion in general. Because I am not relatively full. I'm not one to proclaim I am intelligent or I am of higher understand. I am not. I'm a regular person that has my own stance on things. I prefer my stance to be logical, but in some areas I don't know everything. I can't be expected to, because I wouldn't even expect that of anybody else. Not everybody in this world knows it's like everything in this world isn't a yes or no answer. There is a bunch of maybes, there is a bunch of filler in between yes and no. You can almost never have anything that is exactly yes or no. And I probably just repeated myself. I do that quite a bit. So, when it comes to my stance on anything I can think of, it's my brain not wanting to give it an exact yes or no answer, or it's my brain trying to think of how this situation could have went down, trying to get as many sides of it as possible. But in general, if it's something that really just I know I'm not a person that likes it, I will speak about it in a more harsher, less exaggerated, maybe more exaggerated tone. And I will genuinely not be within the proper mindset to be trying to defile. To the point where I'll probably be defiling the entire situation or making it sound a lot worse than the situation is. And that is just my stance on that at the moment. Or that's just how I am as a person. So, when it comes to everything I think of, it's generally just a spot for my mind to pause, think of what I am doing, and trying to find out every now and then if I should be doing this or if I should be stopping it to continue a separate project. Overall, I am a person that wants to be more on the side of where I want to know more. I want to either learn more, go through more, or find out more. And yes, all three can technically be the same thing, and probably are, because I'm, like I said, not too knowledgeable in every aspect. So I will not know the exact answers, I will not know everything, and I would hope that's not the expectation for everybody on social media. And the factor that a lot of people on social media of recent days are like, this is how you do it, this is how you get it, this is how, this. It's like, you're speaking almost, it's like those YouTuber, this is a day in my life and this is how I got my son. But they don't tell you anything actually beneficial on how they made the money. It's always this is and that, and it's such a mix of dilemmas and social cues that generally get you nowhere. Yes, a good this is that or any of that. Yes, every now and then. If it's not exactly used within a point that makes it seem dead in speech, then yes, it can absolutely be a powerful stance to have, or a powerful word to have in your pocket, if you know how to use it right. And yes, that is how it is for most words. That's generally what could be the area for it, but it needs to be known that you can say the word, but you can say many words and they not have they and they won't have the same impact that you think it should. And it's all about how you can put that sentence out there. That is a good amount of speech in general. And I always have the idea come across that my mind that speech is just a random amount of sounds that we can make with our vocal cords that we learn to mentally put within good to bad terms of meaning, and how pitch can vary depend on how it sounds. How that sentence felt a bit off, but it's generally just how I think vocal transactions are. It's like everyone knows aggressive, everyone knows angry. It is a loud, rough sound to your voice. That is normally what aggressive or mad is. You never hear somebody walk to you and say, "Hi there, I really want to kick your butt." You don't. That would be the most weird thing. When you're mad, your voice hits a tone that is more around a stress or distress area. While if you're happy, you're most likely in a more calmer, enjoyable state of mind. And I don't know the exact areas in the mental state for this, but I do have some understanding. And just because I say I have a understanding doesn't mean I know everything. I am better at physical emotion. Over voice, I often sound the most deadpan, basic person. Oh, here's blah, voice. That's how I am over the vocal area. When it comes to physical, I am a lot more able to show how I feel. I am a lot more able to express the way I am. I cannot do that through talking, voice. It's just I am a more physical person when it comes to sharing emotion or being there. It would be the equivalent of I don't even know what it would be a good equivalent of. I can't even think of anything. Yeah, sure, there are people that are better at thinking of stuff like that than I am. But when it comes to like, oh yeah, no, this is a good equivalent to this, I'm not the best. And I know I ain't the best. I know I ain't the worst when it comes to vocalization of how I think. But I do also not restrict the fact that if I say something, it could come off one way compared to another. That's why I don't try to use too harsh of terms, go too much to the throat. I am more of, I will say what I see, but I still try and keep the idea that people have feelings and I don't want to harm those feelings. Like, there is a point between understanding and giving someone an exact answer that they need, and a difference between telling them the most unkind, unnecessary stuff. You could go to somebody and be like, "Dog, you smell like trash, you ugly as hell." It's genuinely, like, compared to saying, "Man, you could use a bit more deodorant," or you might want to spray yourself down a bit more gently than using all the stuff you are. You might want to take it just a bit more lighter on your, what is it called? Not It's not called scent spray. Dang. I have some cologne. That's what it's called. But yeah, no. There's just like wording it matters, and we are in a world where feelings do matter. A lot of people are like, oh no, I'm a big tough guy. And then they're the same guy that gets very upset, very emotional when stuff doesn't go their way, or when people don't see exact eye to eye with them. It's generally just people being people. Everyone has a different mindset, everyone has a different area of complexity that they have more knowledge in based to others. Take Neil deGrasse Tyson. I love space. I love astrophysics. Am I the smartest there is? No, not even close. I'm closer to the bottom level. I just have space facts in my mind. I don't have the same amount of knowledge Neil deGrasse Tyson does. Even if I went to did the same stuff as him, he would definitely have learned it a more different and beneficial way to him than I would to myself. This is not me putting myself down saying, oh no, I'm stupid, I'm absolutely unknowledgeable in any situation, I have no fluid memory. I'm not doing that. It's me saying, I am this person and I know who I am. Am I the person that gets aggressive for no reason? Am I the person that gets unnecessarily mad, unnecessarily in a situation where I can't think? I don't want to be. And I will try and refute the idea that I am that person. Because I don't think any human wants to be known as the person that genuinely is just seen as the biggest asshole, that doesn't want to be there, that no one ever wants to see. And then that also comes into the idea of people having to victimize themselves at every corner. At working in my area, or working at the job I do, I've had one person that I've had to work with, or multiple, and this said person would victimize themselves to an outrageous degree. They were saying the most heinous things, trying to get people to pity them. And yes, I am not the person that's like, oh no, I need to get an understanding of how this person is before I say anything to them. That is my genuine way of trying to understand people, is talking to them, trying to get an idea of who they are, and seeing if I even want to be near that type of person. They, by my knowledge, or my current stance on understanding who I've talked to, they are one of the first people that I have been like, I never want to see you again. I don't even want to see you on a good day, because you will instantly ruin the day I have. They are the first person I would prefer to launch into space. That's how much I never wanted to see them. That is the treacherous amount they were speaking about others. They were talking so much trash, trying to victimize themselves in situations where it was obvious they weren't a victim. Trying to make themselves sound so much in a degree that they weren't in. And so when I got to understand just who they are as a person, I instantly spaced myself away. Because people like that, I don't want to ever get to know to a personal degree. Because those type of people are the people that will ruin your lives. And this person had a significant other that they were married to. Yes, this significant other wasn't all there in the brain. They weren't the smart. Like, I'm pretty dumb. And I would say I could at least outsmart them in quite a few subjects. So just by seeing this person in general and how they were, I didn't want to get involved. It's just generally something. And not all these are recent talks that I'm doing. A lot of these things I talk about happened a while ago. And I mean a while as in a point where maybe it's been a few years, maybe it's been a few months. These are just things in my life that have happened that I do want out there. Because I feel like if you're playing the victim, or if it feels like you're the victim constantly, I think it at that if it's like, oh, you're with your parents, you're instantly the victim. Oh, you're with other people, you're instantly the victim. If you're just a victim at every point in your life, I would suggest that either it's you trying to be a victim of something so you can have people pity you, or if your life is really that bad, it is the most. Because there are people that have that bad of lives where it is generally very saddening. And it is the most disrespectful thing to do when people fake it and pretend that they do it. Because, yes, I know there are people that have lives that are just that rough. And it is something that I can never think. I am a person, and I like to believe I can forgive almost everything. I forgive everybody, even the person that would constantly victim blame themselves. I can't find a way to hate. And I wish I could. I can be mad for for a few days. Not even a few days. Sometimes I just forget to be, I just stop being mad within hours. Because I have a personal belief that almost anybody should be forgiven. We are not perfect creatures. We all make mistakes to a various degree of intelligence that we have. And yes, I will talk about intelligence every now and then. I'll make the joke, oh, yeah, no, a, a box of rocks has me beaten with certain formats of knowledge. That's because it does. I'm not a geologist. I'm not the smartest person. I enjoy knowing that because that means I get to learn. I get to understand. I had a I had a mild disagreement. I will put it to a mild disagreement with my father yesterday. To the point where I walked out of the house and I went on a bike. I went on my bike. I walked. I rode all the way 4 miles and walked 4 miles back to, and it was to clear my mind and think of what happened, what caused me to get within such a position where I felt like something wrong was happening. So I took a break from generally everything. I thought it was stress. I still think it was just me being extremely stressed out. Because because I still have a bunch of things in school I need to do. And after this, I plan on doing those off the bat, off rip. I just didn't want to have the situation where it's like, because YouTube at the moment for me is the last thing I have to worry about. I'm not insanely big, but you guys' enjoyment does matter. And yes, this might be one of the very few episodes where I am very serious about something, or very outward about speech, or my speech in particularly, because it's genuinely let's get the grammar shark out real quick. Genuinely speaking, There it is. There's the word. But genuinely, that feels weird now. I am a person that loves seeing others succeed in an area I fail in. Because I feel like if I can see others succeed in a position where I fail in, that is someone that has a chance to do something I know I can't, or I can't do as well as them. And I love seeing that. I love the idea that everyone's special in their own format, in their own way of thinking. Everyone on this planet is different and special. And so many people can't understand that you are not the same as everyone else. You're going to be different either way. It, who was it? Was it Sun Tzu? Sun Tzu was the guy that said, no, it wasn't Sun Tzu. I can't even fully remember the quote anymore. But if you live your life, Einstein, I think, is who it was. If you tell a fit, so I think it was something around this area of if you teach a fish or downplay a fish for the fact that it cannot climb a tree, it will believe for the rest of its life that it is limited or stupid. And genuinely, that is a decent quote if you're wanting to have the mindset that you are your own person. And if you can spend your life doing something else that you know you can do compared to others knowing they can do, it is a completely different aspect of the mind. If you spend your life doing something you hate, doing something you know you're not good at, you won't see progression, especially if you're only doing it to prove a point. That's why so many people are saying, do something that you love, because that is genuinely something that actually is mentally good for you. I love playing Minecraft, I love playing games, but I know I need to take a break every now and then. I know I need a position of stability where I don't need to be thinking of everyone's constant ideas of me, everyone's constant states. I'll look at the comment section and I'll be like, ooh, I'm gonna stay away from that comment, or ooh, this is actually a good comment. I should highlight it, write it down, and think about it. Because I'm not a person that feels like they should weaponize their fan base. No. I feel like it's stupid that people that do have a giant fan base weaponizes it. It is the most irresponsible and delusional. Delusional thing to think that you are allowed to use people that just want some aspect of your approval. It is sad that you think you have the right to do that. And I'm not pointing anybody specific out, because I don't know anybody specific that's done it. I know at one point Sniper Wolf did it. She weaponized her fan base to hurt somebody. But that was, I want to say, a few years ago. Maybe 2020, 2022. I don't even know she's on the platform anymore. But what she did broke so much code. And it's not even, oh yeah, no, it was just genuinely a bad thing that they did. There was no arguing against it. And the fact that people would argue against it was the most insanely delusional thing I've ever seen. That you would hold someone's personal life. It would be, I will say this, it is the doxing someone's house when you're famous is like putting a gun to their head because you have no clue what your fan base is capable of. You have no idea what kind of people watch you, to the point where I think it's scary. And I love hearing about drama. I love hearing all this stuff. But when I hear that someone is using people that love listening to them as a method of threatening somebody, I feel like that person needs to be off of social media completely. Even if it's the only way they're making food. Food. Yes, making food. No, if it's the only way they're making money, I still believe they need to be kicked off of it. Because they are, at this point, at such a weak mental state that they don't understand the threat that they just put out. And yes, I'm using something that happened a long time ago as a reference. That's because it could still happen to this day. And I don't think people like to believe that. Because you'll have people where they'll be like, oh yeah, no, it's just, they only did this one thing, and it only lasted a short amount of time. In that short amount of time, so much could have happened. And it's sort of how I was talking about the whole police with their wife thing. Within that short amount of time that police officer was making out with his wife, so much could have happened. And he would have not been there to stop it in correct meaning of time. Those are kids in that school. And it's been obviously shown that certain kids, because the thing about a child's mind is it's easily manipulated. It's malleable as hell. Not all kids are mentally there. And that's why we have certain classes spread out for the kids that we know aren't fully there mentally. We want to separate them so we can help them. I say so I'm not even a part of that, but they do it to help them. They don't do it to single them out. They don't do it as a bad sense of trying to make this kid think they're stupid. They do it as a method to try and understand how this kid works. And it's okay if you're a kid and you aren't there, man, and you feel like nothing feels right. It's growing up. That's genuinely how life is. If you are not growing up, I don't know what you would be doing with your life. I feel like you growing up is some of the most beautiful things life can give you. If you do not have the idea or mindset that, oh, growing up is such a boring, it's such a worse thing. Life gets worse. That's not even it could. It normally does. And the factor that it does get worse means it's all debatable on how you want to persist through it. One of my coworkers, I won't say his name, but one of my coworkers, he's, I want to say, a 34-year-old man. 40, I think, actually. He's within his 40s, almost hitting 50s. He goes every day with a smile. Tries to make jokes, tries to crack everybody up, tries to make every moment a happy moment. And I absolutely aspire to be such a person like he is. He's so happy, he is so joyful, he's there, and he works. And then we have another guy, similar to his age. All he does is complain. He barely makes jokes, and when he does, they fall off short. He doesn't do it, and I think it's just a show to me that you have one side of the spectrum that can make you laugh because you know they're trying to do it genuinely, and they want to see happiness or want the day to be better. And then you have the other side that puts you down or that constantly talks bad. And then when they try and make a joke, they don't get the response they think they want or that they want to get. Because all you know from them is the fact that they speak with ill mind half the time, or that they just talk trash. So I try to, most of the time, avoid talks where I am angry. I want to try and be funny. I want to try and focus. I want to try and have fun. And this episode 2, yes, I know it's a downer. I know it's such a weird stance. And it's only within this area of my mind that I'm speaking from because there's been so much issue in the world lately that everyone feels like it is just a nightmare to deal with. But if we could, as a population, be more motivational to each other, it would be, instead of putting each other down to try and seek each other's, to try and get above each other, lifting each other up would be such a better mentality for us. It would be the most beautiful thing if we could just lift each other up without having to shove others down. It would be something I would want to see. Something I believe we could do as a population, as a race, just as people. I want to see everyone succeed. I want to see people have the life they wish. But to get that life takes work, it takes ethic, it takes time. To get the life you want to live, you need to be patient. You need to run through the course of life itself. Nothing's given on a silver platter. So, I want everyone to just shine bright, enjoy life, and become their own starlight in this world of galaxies. Everyone should have something that separates them from the others. Because I see every time I hop on Discord, onto specific servers, it seems like everyone tries to mimic what they see, thinking it will make them stand out, or thinking it makes them special. And what really makes a person special is their own comedic entrance of their own mind. Holy cow, there are some people that I've seen that are funny if they just stopped copying the YouTubers they watched. Like, I've seen so many people where they will talk and go through their day, and then they'll make small jokes, not even anything referencing anything from any YouTube videos that they've seen. And it is half the time the most enjoyable stuff I've ever seen come from people. And I love it. I love seeing that side of people, because it is normally a side that no one gets to see. And I believe, as people in general, if we did that more often, we would see a lot more progression in comedic area. And I'm not saying we're low on comedy. I want to be funny. I want to try and make people laugh. I want to try and make them smile. But with that comes time. So if I'm going to make something funny, I need the time to do it. I can't just, I can, I guess, actually wake up on Saturdays or Sundays, start recording, and just start throwing jokes out. Going out, just like shooting them like rapid fire. So, in general, if anything, I want to say, if you ever watch my videos, if you ever are the people that watch full way through, I want to thank you. I want to thank you for actually giving me time. I want to thank you guys for, yeah, sure. I want to thank you guys in general. Because I see just how bad my videos are. I see just where I fall in the spectrum of ideas. And I will say this, I love YouTube. I love recording. I love all of this. And I don't ever want to use this as a thing where It feels like it's a job. I want to be here. I want to be in. I want to be out. I want to be laughing. I want to be having fun. I want to be recording in real time. Issue is, I didn't. Why? Because I needed to get an actual conversation in with you guys. I needed to see where you guys want to stand. I want to have an understanding of jokes that I could say, or what the comedic premise is for you guys. We're hitting the 1 hour mark, and I want to say, or around 1 hour mark, and I want to say thank you. Thank you for giving me your ears. Thank you for giving me your time. Even if you don't make it through all the way, I want to say thank you. If you don't hear this, I am gravely sorry. But I really do love the fact that you guys might enjoy what I make. Everything in life has its purpose, and everybody has their place that they want to be. Mine is here. I want to make something fun for you guys, but I also don't want to be stopped doing anything. I'm a person that loves constantly doing stuff. So, I guess this is where I end the episode, and I say thank you so much. Goodbye.